All right. Hi, my name is Jennifer Diamond Hardesty, and I am a physical therapist here in Washington State. And I was going to do a little video today for TennisElbow.com about tissue extensibility, or in other words, flexibility or stretch tolerance. So a lot of my patients ask me, and a lot of people ask, I see on the Facebook group pages that they're wondering, should they stretch or should they not stretch? Sometimes stretching hurts. Should they do it? What if it doesn't hurt? Should they do it? How long should they do it? Those kinds of questions. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about stretching a little bit. All right, so when we get an injury, for example, say you do strain your tendons and you develop tennis elbow, you can, so shortly after the injury, hopefully your body starts to heal. And part of that process, and this is unavoidable, is laying down scar tissue to repair the healing tissues. So scar tissue by nature has less extensibility than your original tissue. It doesn't stretch as much. It's a little bit more rigid. Everyone scars differently. Some people scar really badly, so the scar becomes very rigid and they lose a lot of flexibility and range of motion. And then other people don't lay down enough scar tissue or fast enough, and they can experience kind of slowed healing. And then, some people even develop kind of, if we're talking about skin, like keloid scarring, so really exaggerated scarring. So everyone's a little different, keep that in mind, but in general, scar tissue is a little bit more rigid than the original tissue. And so it's really important as you're healing, as you're going through the healing process, that you are stretching as that scar tissue is being laid down. You're stretching gently so that as the little scar tissue fibers are being laid down, they have some extensibility. So we'll back up a little bit. So every material has a kind of a tearing threshold or a breaking threshold. So maybe people who build wooden kayaks or wooden boats are familiar with this. If you're going to bend a material, such as wood, you have to do it with a certain amount of force over a certain period of time. If you use too much force over too short of a period of time, you're going to break the material. You're going to break the wood, right? So you have to use a very specific amount of force over a specific period of time for that material. So our bodies, muscles, tendons, connective tissue, it takes a very specific load over a specific period of time to make long-term changes without developing more tissue aggravation, so without tearing again, in other words. And so, there's a lot of controversy about stretching, and they've done a lot of studies, and it's multifactorial, but in general, what they've found is that muscles, tendons, connective tissue in a living human, different for cadavers, that tends to develop long-term changes. So not just, my hamstrings, I stretch my hamstrings and I feel good today, but tomorrow they're tight again, but more long-term changes, right? If you're holding the stretch for at least 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and you're doing it at least 3 times a day. And so what that means is you probably have to hold your stretches a lot longer than you're wanting to. And part of that is because we get bored, or for some people it's that they get distracted, or maybe it hurts, or maybe it doesn't feel like they're doing a whole lot. A lot of people will not stretch because they don't feel like it's doing anything. And so you have to kind of do your stretching in a way that you're getting to a position where you're feeling like you're kind of nudging the pain. So you're not in pain, you're not pushing it so far you're in pain, but you're starting to maybe feel like if you were to push it a little further, you would be in pain. And so that's kind of the appropriate amount of force to use. And then I tell people, yeah, set a timer or count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Or my favorite is take 5 slow, deep breaths when you're holding the stretch. And that's about 30 seconds. But what I like about that most is that you're really letting yourself relax, and you're giving your tissues oxygen, and you're calming your nervous system down. And all of those things are important to basically be able to go a little deeper into the stretch and not injure yourself. So that's what I tell people. Hold your stretches for 5 slow, deep breaths. In other words, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, 3 times a day at least. Let's see. I'm looking at my little list to see if I missed anything. Does anyone have any questions? I see a few people logged on. No? Okay. Well, thank you for watching. All right. Bye.